Well, I'm so excited because Average Joe is out here shortly, but as we touched on a bit, it's not so average. What was it about Kathy or about the series itself that really made you want to be a part of this show?
Oh my goodness. I mean, more things than I could count. As soon as I read the script, I immediately closed the last page and said, I got to be Kathy. She was so much fun, so unfiltered, so different than really anything I had played. And that's my goal always, is to just leave a project and go to another project that feels exciting and challenging because it's different than what I've just done. So I just, as soon as I read her, I said, oh, she's new for me. I want to do this. Also, I felt like, which is hard to say because she's a little edgy and dark and crazy. So I hate to say it, but I also felt like I understood her. I was like, I get this girl. I think I can do this. So yeah, I love that, but I also just love the script. I think Rob Cullen, who the story is based off of and who has been with the story for years, he just wrote an excellent script. And the writers and everyone who came to it and brought life to it, it is just different than anything I've seen with this network for sure, but also different than what I think we're used to seeing, in the sense of it's a comedy, but it's not like a situational comedy. It's not like, your kitchen sink family comedy, and it's a drama, but it's not like family drama, and it's not necessarily only crime drama. It's suspenseful, and it keeps you laughing in places you don't think it will. The comedy is under, it's in between the lines, not really like, a punchline. It's a little bit less obvious, and the characters are people that you think and then you're like, maybe I don't. Every situation is one that you think what you would do in it until it happens, and then you're like, maybe I was wrong. It's just full of turns, and it's just, I think, plan to be surprised.
You do have such wonderful co-stars as well. Was that also a draw?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, it literally was a draw. I mean, when I was brought the project at first, of course, it came to my agent first, but then it came to me a second time from the director. The director was someone I'd worked with before on a really lighthearted, lovely sitcom on Netflix. And he was actually like, I know this seems different, than what we worked on, but I think you'd be great for this. And when he told me about who was involved, I mean, from top down, I thought, oh, I'm excited just from even the production standpoint, working with McG and working with Daylight Media, but Dion Cole being a part of it, I was excited. I had seen Dion do The Harder They Fall. And so I knew that he had it in him to make this dramatic turn. I think other people continue to be surprised when I tell them, like, that he's starring in this gritty, sort of bloody drama. And they're like, he's a funny guy. And I'm like, he is. And the show is funny, but it's just darkly funny, and also just, I didn't even want to call it a dark comedy. There is no genre for this, really. It's just what it is when it's that, and it's that in a good way. But yeah, working with Dion I thought would be exciting. I have a long history of pairing with comedians. I have worked with Kevin Hart. I've worked with Damon Wayans. I mean, I work with funny people a lot. I love working with funny men. I think they're great. They tend to be really great leads of shows because they're able to keep, things on the set going, lighthearted, but also, unlike what most people think about funny guys, they're smart. They're sharp. They think they're observant. That's a trait I really enjoy about working with comedians. Also, when a comedian begins to really delve into their acting, I enjoy the fact that they are still new. They have sort of I think they're just not as jaded. They have an excitement and a desire to really like do it well, and prove that this is their thing too. And I loved watching him sort of get settled into his acting bag. And then when we added on Malcolm Barrett and Tammy Townsend and our lovely newcomer Ashley Olivia Fisher and Michael Trucco and Pasha Linka, oh my gosh, like, it just got better and better every single time someone was announced. Malcolm Barrett is just like, he's America's favorite lovable nerd. And I love watching him turn.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like, we all love Malcolm from Timeless. We all love him from Better Off Ted and like all of the, things we know him for. But this is just such a cool opportunity for him to kind of be this unexpected hero, the unsung hero of the show. Tammy Townsend has been out here for years. and she has stunned in everything she's done. But I'm just excited to see her really come into the fullness of this mama bear. And Michael Trucco he's just a fantastic actor. Honestly, I just really enjoyed every scene that we got to be in together and wished I had more. Because watching him work is really something. He's just a very seasoned veteran, practiced performer, and we're very lucky to have him. And Pasha been a bad guy in every Russian movie you've ever, the Russian bad guy in every movie you've ever seen that had Russian bad guys. And he comes in to do us a solid and be just the best Russian bad guy we could possibly get. And again, a really solid actor though. Like he's not just doing a shtick, This guy has character and story, and I'm excited for everybody to see what everybody's doing, man.
There is such incredible talents to this as well, because it's just mind-blowing how many wonderful people are a part of this series, and you all have such great comedic talents as well. Was there much room to improv when it came to this series, or was everything just so beautifully laid out on the page?
Both. I think that's what I was going to say. Is there's definitely room to improv, and I think all of our directors really allowed us that freedom. But it's also it really isn't necessary. And they really did. Even the jokes that sometimes feel improvised, they're in there. I think that what we do have great is that all of the actors, because we really very quickly sort of got comfortable with one another. We were all able to take what was on that page and just live in it in a very, I think, natural way. And fun way. So even the comedy that might feel improvised, I think that's really just because everyone's feeling those breaths in between and the bounces back and forth. And, again, I think that's why we're able and living in their characters quite honestly and fully as well. So yeah, it's there, and we do sneak some in. I think Malcolm is probably the most improvise. Malcolm improvises more than anybody for sure. Me probably second. Dion, actually, what's funny is Dion is pretty to the script. If he improvises, it's cussing. If Dion is improvising, that means he threw in 9 extra curse words. That's how he's improvising. Tammy too. I think Tammy in real life loved to cuss, and I think she enjoys that she was able to cuss so much in this show. So she let it rip too.
Okay, there's freedom, a little bit of freedom when it comes to characters then.
Just a little bit. Yes. I think especially by like episode 3, I feel like there was a great deal of trust put in us because, you write a thing and Rob wrote something beautiful. And this is Rob's story. It's literally based on Rob Cullen's life. He's it's been with him for so long in the sense that it was his real life. And then he's been working on the script and working with BET Plus and McG and Daylight Media. He's been working with them for 4 years on the project. So it's been living in him for a long time. But as soon as he gave it to us to tell, he really was like, I am blown away at the people you've created that both feel familiar and new, and I love everything you're doing, so just run. So there was a lot of just freedom given to us to kind of become who we wanted to be, and I personally loved that for Kathy because I think with characters like her, it's very, very easy to just write her off as a bitch. That is just, so often what we do with hard women, or tough women. And I loved finding the layers in her. I love understanding that while she may be tough on her husband, at one point, they loved each other enough to fall in love and get married. And so we have to remember that that's at the core of all relationships, but that time does something to us. Derailed hopes and dreams and disappointments, they all do things to us. And I think that I never believe that a woman is one thing. There's no person that's one thing. So I love finding all of the bits and pieces inside of what we think are hardened or edgy or one-note characters. Mm-hmm.
Sure, there's nuances to every single person, real
Yeah.
on the page, otherwise, certainly. And there are so many memorable and funny and heartfelt and dramatic and every adjective when it comes to this series. Were there specific episodes or maybe favorite scenes you filmed that you can talk about?
Well, it's always hard in a show like this when every episode has a cliffhanger to talk about anything beyond the first episode. Basically, I can only talk about what's in the trailer. But thank you very much for acknowledging that it does, that the show runs the gamut of adjectives. So it's there's really, I mean it. Sometimes you don't, I mean it when I say I don't have favorites. I really enjoyed being Kathy. I enjoyed every opportunity I had to have a quip. You know what? Oh, I will. Okay, as I'm saying, I can't talk. It's tough. I will say one of my favorite moments, and it's only favorite because it's the beginning. It's how we set her up. I love that one of the first things that happens. The story opens with a family funeral, which we know. We know this from the trailer. I'm not ruining anything. The story opens with the death of Joe's father, and so when we're at the funeral, I love it because it's when we get to see who Kathy is right away. And really, people are their most true selves at funerals, I think. We all really, you tell the stories, you get a little drunk, and everybody's in an emotional, raw place. I feel like funerals are great ways to kind of see people be themselves. But Kathy does a little thing where she brings some flowers and then decides that her flowers aren't nice enough. And then she fakes it out and swaps her flowers for another guest's flowers. And it's such just a manipulative, underhanded move. And she does it with absolutely no thought behind it, even proud of herself. And I think it's a nonverbal bit. There's no dialogue around it. There's nothing that sets it up. And it's such a great commentary on both her character and also this show and how we're going to tell this story. And that you really got to pay attention because things are happening all the time. They're happening in between the lines, on the line, after the line, behind in the background, in a cough, there's so much happening. And I loved that scene probably the most, only because it starts the ride of how get in here, get in here, get in here, pay attention.
This series gives me those little giggle tears that you get when you laugh so hard sometimes that it's a little bit insane, but also so good. Was there anyone though that broke the most when those special moments did happen?
Mm, I would say probably Tammy. I think Tammy is, yeah, probably Tammy. Tammy's the worst. Tammy is, she, first of all, she loves to laugh. Tammy loves to laugh. She loves to have a good time. So I think honestly, she just likes to giggle. So I don't even know that she's trying to keep it together. But Tammy is definitely the easiest person to throw. She's locked in her character, but if you throw her off or like give her a little side joke or whatever, she just enjoys it too much. So she's in real life gonna giggle and then go, okay, okay, now I know what's coming. Let's do
This
it.
show has heart and humor and a little bit of everything for everyone in it.
Mhm.
What do you think it is about Average Joe that's just going to make it such a fan favorite series?
I think that I think first of all, anytime you have an episode that's week to week continues to kind of like cliffhanger and keep you that's what's gonna keep people, I think, coming back, of course. We all love a mystery, an unraveling story. And this is a story that unravels both about the actual plot of what's the deal with this money, why did his father have it? Where is it? And are we gonna get it? That's the thing that's going to keep getting more and more deeply, we're all going to fall deeper and deeper into that spiral. But also every week the characters are unveiling too. We're learning more and more about these people as well. So I think that what is going to be the most, I think, exciting draw for the audience is every week seeing these new situations and going, what would I do in them? I think that everyone thinks they know what they would do if blank. Fill in the blank. You think you're going to know what you would do if there was a fire. You think you'd know what you would do if someone tried to rob you in the middle of the night. You think you'd know what you would do if you were somewhere in historical times, and I would have behaved like this. We all think we know what we would do. But I think people are going to really be fascinated going, I didn't think that character was going to respond in this way. But also, I don't know what I would do. I think people are also going to start looking to the left and the right of themselves and their family members and their partners and going, are you going to be a Leon? Are you going to be a Kathy? Are you going to be a Joe? Or are you going to be a Tammy? Angela, like, what are you going to be? How are you going to behave? I think that's going to be a fun conversation for people, honestly.
You are getting ready to have the premiere of it here on the 26th. It
Yeah.
releases. How are you going to celebrate?
I am going to, of course, there will be the BET Awards. We'll be there on the 25th. So the night before, we'll be out partying and having a good time. And it'll do, I think, a sneak peek that night. And so on the day, I'm going to celebrate like with the rest of the people. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be at home, cuddled in, probably with some popcorn and some snacks, and I'm going to watch it like it's my very first time. Because I think it's a different thing when you watch it knowing that people are watching it with you. The only thing I might do, and this will come. I have to be secret about this, but my best friend in Chicago is actually hosting a watch party, which I think is so sweet. She's doing a watch party, and there's like a bunch of people coming over to her house. I might last minute surprise her and fly in town and go see the show there with them. So if I do anything major, it'll be that I'll fly out to go visit my friend and her watch party.
Well, what's next for you? Have you been busy working on any of the projects, or are you focused on Average Joe for the time being because the writer's
I
strike?
mean, of course, yeah. Yes, I was just going to say, I mean, of course, it's a toughie right now. We were sort of right before the writer's strike happened, kind of, looking at what our next project was going to be, and everything is sort of in the middle right now. But I'm very fortunate to be in a situation where this project is already done. And so I get to, see a completed project, out. We are able to give the people some content right now, because unfortunately there might be a little bit less of it for a while. So I'm excited about that. Also, I already had finished season 2 of Marvel's What If. So that's on Disney Plus. I played Gamora on there. So that first episode up, you'll see Gamora out on the. We've been waiting for this for quite a while. I believe this comes out in July. So that's also exciting. And then I have another cartoon called Haley's on It. Very exciting. I work with the writers of a show I used to do called Prince of Peoria, Devin Bungie and Nick Stanton. They're really great. Those writers are just funny, fantastic, earnest gentlemen. Two of my favorite human beings. So that show's out right now. That is actually streaming right now on Disney Plus. I'm a big Disney person, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Got a lot of stuff over there. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And also, I think I can. It's not. It's theater. It's theater, so it's not going to really do anything for most of the people. But for the theater goers out there, I'm also going to be getting back to my roots, and I'll be on the stage performing in the Rolling World premiere of Welcome to Matson, which is written by my very good friend Inda Craig Galvan. So I'm very excited about that as well.
My goodness, so many big things. I'm really excited, especially for Average Joe here to come out here shortly, and
Me
certainly to
too.
see you back on stage again soon. What would you like to say to everyone who are fans and supporters of the wonderful work you do, whether it's a comedy, whether it's a drama, whether it's on screen or behind the screen, voiceover? Yeah, there's so much to the career you've had.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be working at all, but also really fortunate to be able to do different kinds of projects. It's what I love to do. I love to keep challenging myself. To anybody that's watched me in any one of those things, I just would say thank you. Thank you for supporting, and thank you for growing with me and being open and receptive to me continuing to try new things. I hope that this one continues to surprise you and excite you. I hope that you are a new fan of Kathy, if you've been a fan of another character in the past. And I hope that you love Average Joe as much as I do. I hope you watch every week and wait with bated breath to see what happens next. I hope you come up with theories and plots, and I hope you share them with me and let me know what you think is going to happen. I won't tell you, but I'll be very excited to hear your guesses. And I look forward to just, sharing this really cool project with you. And I also want to just tell you to plan to be surprised.